Hey guys, so this is where we left off in our previous video, and in this one we're gonna continue with the interior and some other cosmetical stuff. When I installed the sound deadening and the carpet, I was planning to do exactly what I'm doing here, to find the holes for the runner assemblies for the seats from underneath the car and just poke them through the carpet and the sound deadening. What I didn't figure out though was that two of the holes were visible from underneath, but the other two were right on top of the frame. So I had a little bit of trouble here, but what I did was I found the rear two holes, I poked them through, then I installed the assembly only with these two holes and kind of guessed where the other two holes were by poking from up, and I managed to find them, so I installed the runners. And I left the seats for later because I still have to install the dash support and the seat belts, and the seats would be on my way. So I decided to install all the weather stripping. So here I'm just figuring out what goes where. And I'm taking away this boot seal because it was old and ripped, and I just had it there for assembling purposes, you know. I started with the door seals, and this first one doesn't really make too much sense to me, because as you will see later, it's overlapped with the other door seal, the fuzzy one. But it is what it is. If they want me to put it there, I put it there. And here you can see what I'm talking about. This other seal is overlapping the first one, and it's sitting much higher, so there's no much sense of having the other one behind it. But like I said, it is what it is. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but you're gonna correct me, right? The trickiest part is here around the dash because it's really tight, but after that it is pretty straightforward. Well, not really, because here around the gusset it's pretty tight too, but it works. You just have to wiggle the seal a little bit and eventually it goes in. And the moment of truth, is the door gonna close with the seal? Yes, perfect. But how about with the window up? Well, not bad. It's a little bit under tension, but that's how it's supposed to be, right? Otherwise it's not gonna seal. The end of the seal I just cut flush with the top of the B-post, because there's this aluminum trim that covers everything at the end. I just test fitted it here, I didn't install it, because I still have to install the interior panels inside, right? These two seals though, the so-called rear hood seal and valance to hood seal, they confused me a little bit, because I have two different seals that came with the car, but when I checked the Moss Motors website, it looks like they have pretty much the same profile of both seals. Anyways, I tried both of them, the one that looks like the one that they sell in Moss Motors, and the other seal, which is a little bit straighter, which has a little bit straighter center part. And yeah, I tried both of them at the rear of the hood, and in both cases I couldn't close the hood, so something is wrong there, I don't know what, but for now I don't have time to deal with that, so I left the hood without any seals, and I'm gonna do a little bit more research on that before I install these. So I headed to the booth and this one worked pretty well. There was absolutely no problem here. And since I was at the trunk lid, I decided to install also the rack. And by the way, if there weren't holes on the lid, I wouldn't even bother installing the rack, but since the holes were there and I didn't blank them, that was the only way to fill them up, you know. And my colleague KJ wanted to help, so I let him help me, and really 2 extra hands here weren't a bad idea. What? It's in a horrible place.
I know.
Why is it so further back? Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know who positioned that rack, but it's in a horrible position. So next I started installing the interior panels because I got the cup washers. Yeah, thanks Mr. Chef Tash. Thanks to you I know these are called cup washers. So I started installing the panels, but before I installed them I thought it was a good idea to make a template of the holes for the soft top, for the frame, so I can locate them easily through the panel when the panel is installed. It was gonna be very hard to locate the old holes through the panel, and also I wanted to use some screws that we use in the limousine builds that are really nice trim screws, and they are a little bit smaller than what the holes were, so I just decided to drill new holes close to the old ones and use these little trim screws, as we call them. Even though I still don't have the big grommet for the shifter, I decided to install the dash support, or at least pre-fit it, so I can easily put it on and take it off when I need to. And for this reason I had to remove the plinth again, but I'm not concerned about it because it makes sense to install everything once, and then if I have to remove it I can remove it, but at least I make sure that everything goes well where it is supposed to be. I had a little chat about that with Chef Tash, about installing the center dash support, and you know what? He was right. He said it was gonna be really tight with the sound deadening and everything underneath, and yeah, he was right again. The dash support needs to go all the way down to the floor in order to fit properly between the floor and the dash. So I decided to peel back the carpet and remove part of the sound deadening underneath and expose the holes for the screws that hold the dash support down to the floor, and then everything worked well. And this is the final result. I made it in such a way that the carpet overlaps the heels of the dash support, and I think this is the right way because it hides the heads of the screws. And now I'm installing those pads that hide the back of the radio and all the wiring there. And by the way, this radio is not hooked up yet. We don't even have speakers, but maybe when I remove the dash support to install the grommet, that's the time when I'm gonna think about wiring and installing speakers. I don't even know where I can install speakers in this car, but I know from experience that it is boring when you drive without a radio. I think it's a good idea to have a radio in the car. Well, now that I'm editing this video, I'm not really sure why I was jumping back and forth like that, but after the center console I came back and installed those aluminum finishing pieces, and I just put a screw outside to hold it in place because this hole is exposed, and this way it was much easier to find the inside hole, because now I knew for sure that the piece was in the right place. And then I did the same for the other side, and these external screws that I'm putting here temporarily are gonna come off at some point because there must be a snap button there for the soft top. And then again with KJ's help I installed the rear bumper, and that made the car look really completed. Nothing special here, just 4 bolts to the fenders, to the back at the valance, but of course there are some brackets underneath, extensions from the frame, so the bumper is not held just to the valance and to the fenders, it's held to the frame actually. And in this stage I keep repeating that the car is almost done, but actually there's so many more details that need to be done, and I keep adding more and more, so finally I decided to make a list and just follow it. Alright, so that's what's left on the car. So we need to install the seat belts, and after that we can mount the seats permanently. The side mirror on the door I have to install, the rocker beads or the seal beads on the side, sun visors, trunk, all the panels inside the trunk or inside the boot, the soft top, the rear suspension needs to be looked at, the washer fluid canister needs to be installed, and the windshield wipers. The horn button is missing, so it needs to be installed. We need to buy new tires and change them. It's missing one screw on the dash, the wooden dash, and there's one hose for the drain on the Scato that I keep forgetting that I have to install. I still have access to it, even though I have the dash. So these are the things that remain to be done, or at least as far as I remember. So if only that is left to be done, what has been done? All right, close your eyes. Okay, did you close them? Don't open them. Don't open them yet. Let me focus it. Don't open. Okay, now you can open them. Huh? Isn't she a beauty? I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I love her. I'm in love with this car. The interior looks beautiful. This color of interior gives her so much life. And the dash looks beautiful. I never showed you close up of the dash, I guess, but this is something that Jake and his assistant Annie did. They did some resin and they polished it, and then they gave it a matte finish, so it looks like the original dash, I guess. The seats, like I said, are not installed yet permanently. They're just dropped there, but I want to mount the seat belts first, but that's about it. Other than that, almost everything is done. Of course, the soft top frame, that's a whole new deal. And when we change the tires, Jake is gonna buy the red line ones. And the rocker beads or the seal beads over there need to be installed. All the decals, of course, need to be glued. Jake has them in his office. The nameplates at the back. She's almost done. Only this rack, the boot rack, I don't know why was it mounted so further back. And if I knew that, I would have blanked these holes and drilled new ones, or just left it off. I don't know, but it is what it is. It is where it is. I can't stop walking around her. I know now it is Friday. By Monday she's gonna be dirty again, but I just couldn't resist, and I cleaned her. Just gave her a little wipe, so we got rid of all the dust, and yeah, that's it. Alright guys, so I guess this is not the end of this series. We still have more things to do on the car, so there's gonna be some more episodes, but just because it looks pretty much complete now, I wanted to show her in her glory now. So that's gonna be it for today guys. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing and commenting as usual, and we're gonna see each other in my next video. Bye. Alright guys, welcome to the first annual British car show hosted by Rusty Beauties. You can see here cars from all kinds of years, all makes and models, and just kidding you guys, couldn't resist. Now that we have 3 Rusty Beauties that are in shape, in presentable shape, couldn't resist to line them up and take some video of them. So for those of you who are new to the channel, this is a 1964 Triumph TR4, belongs to Jake, who is my boss. This is a 1973 TR6, belongs to Jake and myself. We bought it together and restored it, and now it's almost done. Needs some more work, but it's at the finishing stage. And this is my own 1966 Triumph Spitfire. It's in a rough shape already, has some dents here and has some dents here, and these are, I don't know, I'm really upset about that. I don't even want to talk about it anyways, but she's my first Rusty Beauty. She's my first Rusty Beauty. Anyways, I just wanted to show you our collection here guys. Thanks for watching, bye.